What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And today's video, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to start calling Jiri Prochazka out. Yuri revealed that he was battling a staph infection going to his match against Alex Pereira. Man, I really didn't believe it, but Jiri Prochazka is making a lot of excuses. It's just true. So, initially, I just want to rewind you back real quick. When Alex Pereira and Israel fought, when Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka fought for the first time, Alex Pereira beat Yuri by TKO. But Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, and a lot of people online were saying that fight was stopped early. And during the post-fight interview, Jiri Prochazka said this. He said, "I was out and Mark Garter did the right thing." He said, "I went out and he did the right thing by stopping that fight." Even though it looked like it was an early stoppage. And that right there made Jiri Prochazka one of my favorite fighters. I was like, man, I gotta give this guy respect. I never thought his style was the best. I never looked at this guy and be like, ooh, he has the best technical or the best striking, right? But I did always respect him for how he brings the fight. And for him to go out and say that, I was like, man, I'm a really big fan of this guy because no one else is doing that. No one else would have decided I was out early when it could have been an early stoppage, you know? So I gave him much props and he deserved it, right? I was like, yo, good job. But then a couple months later, he was doing an interview with Michael Bisping and he said, yeah, that was an early stoppage. They should have let that played out because, you know, I could have came back and perhaps won the fight. I was like, okay. It is something. Maybe he watched the fight so many times where he's like, that referee made a mistake. It was an early stoppage. Maybe now that he watched the replay for a couple months and really dissected that video and said, hey, that was an early stoppage. I can't hate on that. I mean, okay, Yuri's not that type of guy to make excuses. So if he thinks that now after watching the replay that was an early stoppage, so be it. Let that go. Because, hey, if I was in his shoes, I'll be like, you know what? I could say this. I didn't like it as much, but I didn't blame him too much about saying that, right? And then before the second fight with Pereira, he started making this claim that Alex Pereira used magic to beat him. And he said, I could feel the energy last time. He used magic. What was it, Yuri? Was it an early stoppage or was it magic? Because even though it was funny, because normally you usually say your opponent's on steroids or he's cheating or something, this dude was saying magic. The whole MMA community ate that shit up. They loved it. They're like, Yuri's not making an excuse. Alex Pereira, his tribe things, the stuff he does is very weird. It must be magic. How's everyone going to sleep with that left hook? It must be magic, right? Even I made a video on it, and I was like kind of jokingly saying the UFC needs to stop this guy because he's doing magic, right? But at the end of the day, that's something you cannot prove. Whether it's true or not, you cannot prove it. Alex Pereira did say he has spirits with him, but I don't know whether that's black magic or not. I don't know what he does. It could be, right? But we don't know for sure. But since he's Jiri Prochazka and it was saying that Alex Pereira has magic, something new, he gets a pass for that. Let that be Jamal Hill. And you know what y'all do to him. You know what the media would do to him. They will crucify him. They will be on Jamal Hill's head every single day, showing him himself getting knocked down, say, this wasn't magic, this was Pereira, yada, yada, yada. You know all that, right? So today, Jiri Prochazka says he was battling a staph infection going into this fight. Islam Makhachev also fought with a staph infection, and he beat Dustin Poirier. But I remember when I saw the news, this is his leg before the fight happened. When I saw the news saying that he has staph infection, I was like, man, I really hope he pulls out. Because if he doesn't and he loses, we're not using that as an excuse. I don't care what fighter you are. You could be my favorite fighter or the worst fighter. I'm not going to let you use that as an excuse, whether it's true or not. Because everyone has the ability to pull out a fight, especially Jiri Prochazka. And I say this why? Because this wasn't his fight to begin with. This was Conor versus Chandler. And Conor pulled out with a broken pinky toe. Right? And I was like, okay, Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira are the replacements. Alex Pereira was talking about he has a broken toe, but he's still taking this fight because he wants to. Had Alex lost to you, we would not be saying Alex Pereira fought with a broken toe. We would be saying that, hey, Jiri Prochazka was just better than him on that night. And that's what I think you should have done. I think that it was weak of you putting this statement out. Because now, whether you didn't directly say it, you're saying this was the reason why I lost the fight. It is. It's true. People who take short notice fights, do we ever remember? No. Oh, yeah, at the time, we give you a lot of props. Man, Volkanovski taking this short notice fight with Islam. He said this was something Islam would never do. He got these claps, right? And then when his ass got knocked out, guess what? No one's gonna hold you to that. A year has almost passed since Islam knocked out Alex Volkanovski. Excuse me, I think I said Alex Pereira. I mean Volkanovski. And now in my mind, I'm just like, Volkanovski got KO'd by Islam. I forget that it was a short notice fight. As more time moves on, more people will too. You will forget that you were ever in a short notice fight. That's why you have to have a good team behind you. And that's why I think Jiri Prochazka doesn't have a good team behind him as well. Also, I just heard his team saying this too. They said that Yuri is thinking about moving down to middleweight. With the likes of Israel and Dricus there, right? Jiri Prochazka will be a huge middleweight. He reminds me of Alex Pereira at middleweight, right? But you just came off a knockout at light heavyweight. The last thing you want to do is cut weight and go to a new class, because a lot of times when you cut the weight, you lose your chin, and that's what happened to Alex Pereira. He got knocked out cold bad by Israel, and he said this is before the fight. He said this is my last fight before I go up to light heavyweight, whether I win or lose, because of the weight cuts are so draining. It will deteriorate your chin. We've seen this. A lot of people, their chins have never recovered from bad weight cuts. And Jiri Prochazka coming off of 2 knockouts and 3 fights is not helping his case either. He could be chinny now, but if he goes down to middleweight, he will be more chinny. A guy who's not even a good striker might be able to beat him because of that. It's going to be really hard, and I don't see Jiri Prochazka it going to be in another title shot anytime soon. He said after his fight with Pereira, the second one, that he needs to evolve as a fighter. 31 years old, gotta evolve as a fighter. It's not gonna happen. You don't make it this far with this style to change it up. You have to tweak something. You can't change up your whole style, right? He really means that he wants to evolve and change up his whole style. I don't think it's gonna happen. You need to tweak some things to just get better. This is small stuff. That's all it is. You don't change up your whole style. But I gotta be honest, if this is Jamal Hill, this would have been a weak statement by Yuri. But I want to know your thoughts. Are you guys, if you are a big supporter of Jiri Prochazka, I really want to see you down in the comment section down below and tell me, what do you think of it? I want all the Yuri fans to let me know in the comments down below. But those are my thoughts. If you are new, please subscribe. And also, if you made it to the end of the video, please like it. Until next time.